All right, so we are talking about data analysis again, central tendency. So last time we talked about average. So average is a way that if we take a lot of numbers, like hundreds of numbers, how we can boil it down to just one number that we can actually understand. So if you take all your marks in your classes, if you boil it down to one average, you can get a good sense of how you're doing in school. This is not a perfect method, and that's where we have other systems like mode. A mode is a special number, kind of like the average, that can give you a clue about a big group of numbers. So let's look at some examples. So let's say I asked people, how many tests should we have in the school year? And let's say these were the results. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 kids said just one test, and then 3 kids said they wanted 10 tests. If we did the average, which we did last unit, the average would be 4.8. But the problem here is that if I did 4.8 tests, let's say I rounded that to like 5 tests, that's probably not going to make them happy, and it's not going to make them happy either. So it's hard to tell just by looking at average what information is there. So another method we can use is called the mode. The mode basically means the most common answer. So sometimes it can be helpful to know if one answer was said way more times than others. So in this instance, the mode was said 4 times. So the mode would be 1. So if I saw the average is 5, but I saw the mode was 1, I'd say, wow, a lot of people only wanted one test. So maybe using the average wouldn't be the best way to do it. And I might want to ask more questions or maybe put lower number of tests like 3 or 2 or something. So let's find the mode of a bunch of numbers. We need to find what one happens the most. It can be really hard to find out which ones are happening more than once, and the best strategy is to rewrite the numbers in order. This is going to be helpful because when we do median next class, having them in order is very, very useful. So let's practice. The way I do it, I look through and I try and find the smallest number. So I notice this one starts with a 6, and then none of these other ones start with a 6 or a smaller number. So I'm going to write 67 as the first one. Then I'm going to cross it out so I don't forget. Then I'm going to look that there's no more 6s, so I'm going to look for 7s next. So I got a 76, 79, and 79. So I'm going to put my 76 and then my 2 79s. And I'm going to cross them out. There's no more 7s, so now we'll do the 8s. So we got 89, 89, and 84. So 84 goes first, then the 2 89s, and then cross those out. And now all that's left is 92, and now they're all in order. So now what we can do is we want to say which one happened the most. So 79 had 2, and 89 had 2. So now we're going to say what the mode is. In this case, there were 2 numbers, so 79 and 89 are the mode. Cool. There's another method of how to organize these called stem and leaf plot. So this is really helpful when you have a lot of numbers. To go through it and order them all would take a really long time. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of put them into a chart. So the first one is going to be like the single digit numbers. Okay, so we have 3, 4, 3, 6, and 3. So just looking at those, I'm going to put them in order. So 3, 3, and then another 3, then 4, then 6. Cool, that's all of them. The next one's going to be the tens. So all the numbers that start with a 1. So we've got 10, 10, 16, 18, and 11. So we're obviously going to do the tens first, and then 11 is next, and then 16, then 18. Cool. Now we'll do the 20s. So we got 28, 21, 25. So 21, 25, 28. That's those 3. And then the 30s, there's actually none in this one, and then the 40s. So the 40s is going to be 41, 43, and 43. And I can double check. I crossed out every single number, so I'm done. So now we can check the mode by seeing what repeated. We got the 3s, the 10s, but there's only 2 of those, so that's less than the 3s, and the 43s, but again, there's 3 3s, so the mode is 3. That is the most common answer, the most repeated answer. Now, there are going to be some situations where we say, what's the mode of these numbers? There was 1 3, 1 5, and 1 8, so they're all tied. If they're all tied, there is no mode. That's okay. And so when we did this, if we found the average, you would say what the average is, and the mode, you would just say none. So that's the quick basics. We will go through more complex examples later on, especially at the end of the unit, But for now, you just need to understand if I give you a big group of numbers, you need to have a method for how to find the mode. That's it.